Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AIM Impact on Your Health. AIM Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AIM Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AIM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Well, we are in top doc summer mode. You have heard some fantastic people in this show, all circling around this neat conference we had at the beginning of summer called the Top 20 Alternative Doctors in America. And they all got together out there in Phoenix, Arizona, had a chance to meet every one of them, and as they came off of the stage giving their particular segment of the book, I asked them if they wouldn't mind coming on the show. This particular gentleman today, I believe I'm so proud to be able to bring him to you. He is one of the most brilliant minds in medicine I've ever come across. His name is Dr. Jerry Tennant. You're going to get to know Dr. Tennant this morning. You're going to get to know what Dr. Tennant is all about. In fact, we're just going to say there's a little jingle that tells his story. And he says that healing is voltage. By the way, that works in backwards too. Voltage is healing. Either way you look at it, Dr. Jerry Tennant looks at it completely different than it's ever been looked at before. And as it emerges, you're going to be able to see a new way of dealing with disease and things that are out of kilter through a completely different mechanism you ever thought possible. Dr. Jerry Tennant, our guest today. Now, if in the course of our discussion with Dr. Tennant, you want to call in to ask a question or make a comment, that number, of course, is and will be 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I'll give that number additionally throughout the hour. So we pick up the gauntlet. We're halfway through the month of September, or just about. This particular week, Susie is going to be with us on Wednesday. Now I'm talking about Susie Weiss going to be preparing those of you who want to participate in the Essential Oils Seminar. This time be held literally on Thursday, the next day, 10 o'clock in the morning. If you'd like to be a part of it, you can register to reserve a seat now. If you don't know much about essential oils, you want to listen to Susie Weiss talk about the Young Living line of essential oils. And I think it's a fascinating way of looking at how you also can take care of yourself. And we'll look forward to having Susie with us on Wednesday. By the way, also on Wednesday, as if you didn't know, that's our tasting here at the office. We've been having Baresha Fridays. We've launched a new company. I think they've got one-of-a-kind go-to drinks, and you've heard me put full force of my reputation behind these drinks. I think I can. They are one-of-a-kind. And we'll talk a bit about them on Wednesday. The Baresha line, there's a coffee, a tea, and a lemonade, as well as a sweetener. 4 in, 3 more to go in terms of a total number of 7 products. This company is up and coming, upwardly mobile, I guess is what they say. There is also a eye protocol this month on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. That's a 3-day eye treatment program. This is the Dr. Conrad approach, a 3-day treatment reversal of very difficult diseases like MACD, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and diabetic retinopathy, as well as cataract. So if any one of those happens to be a particular problem for you or someone that you know, give us a call here at 724-942-3002 so we can get you enrolled. We just got about enough time to pull it off. Today's probably the last day that we'll be able to bring someone into our August conference. Also, do want to mention, on the 25th, Dr. Tyson Swigert is going to be on a program. We're launching a way for you to be able to take care of your weight issues, your diabetic issues, your difficulty with dealing with carbohydrates. I think that it is finally time for me to give you an opportunity to learn how to take care of this and have some supervision along the way. We're going to have Patricia with us on that same day. She's going to be running a program that launches September 27th, 9 o'clock on Saturday mornings. There are going to be 10 classes run. It is open to anybody who'd like to be a part of it. It'll be cut off at 25. So the first 25 that are in, I've got a number of patients that I've actually directed to the program who have difficulties with hemoglobin A1Cs and are either full-blown diabetics or on their way to become one. If you're worried about that particular issue for yourself or just like to lose weight in a very safe and permanent way, give us a call at 724-942-3002, and we will have Sarah get a hold of you to get you enrolled. That is a program that begins in September. Now, I don't want to waste and dilly-dally around too much. I'd like to get to our guest today. You are in for a real treat, ladies and gentlemen. This gentleman is so brilliant, and what a great way of looking at ease and dis-ease, health and non-health, through electrical terms. Healing is voltage, so says Dr. Jerry Tennant. We're going to be right back in a moment with Dr. Tennant. You don't want to miss it. See you on the rebound.
That you were looking for. Was on the phone, but not with your guest.
He didn't call in yet?
Hasn't called in yet.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Do we have a number for him?
You know what? Let me see what I got here. Hang on. Okay, I have a work phone number. But that's about it here. Try it. 972-580-1156. 972-580-1156.
Okay. Where's he at?
He's in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
So that probably means he's at home at this hour. I don't have it.
709 now. There. Well, we'll try it and see if we get anything, or if he still calls in, I'll double beat you.
Okay.
Okay.
Free computerized evaluation. Stop suffering.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today in the Monday morning version of this show. We're having what we're awaiting, a phone call from Dr. Jerry Tennant. I checked with his office on Friday. Everybody there seemed to know all about this, and we're hoping that Dr. Tennant does give us a call here. We're trying to establish a communication with him. We will switch some gears in the meantime, allowing you to come on in and maybe in a surprise fashion weigh in on some issues you'd like to weigh in on. The number to do it is 412-825-6262. If you have a mind to, dial us up at 412-825-6262. And if we have to completely switch gears, we will. Other than that, we'll wait for Dr. Jerry Tennant to give us a call. And hey, we roll with the punches here. We do rather well at it, and let's see how we can transition to an open phone that we'll turn over to you. A couple of things I have some more time to spend with now that I was rushing along to get to Dr. Tennant. That is two things. One, the Beresha line of coffees that we're going to have a tasting for. If you're anywhere near McMurray, Pennsylvania, Peters Township, South Hills, on Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, we want to invite you to spend a small amount of time with us to sample the Beresha line. We say that this is I say, one of the first times that something so healthy turns out to be so doggone good. It's rare to find a combination like that. But the Beresha line is it's a new launch, just launched on the 7th of July in terms of the reformulations of a coffee, a tea, and a lemonade, all of which have certain qualities that I think make it the one of a kind. The first, and I revealed the other day on Friday when I had Dr. Angelo Mitsos with me on the air, I revealed the reason I asked on the first Beresha show that we've done, and I'm going to look back and see when that was. That show was with it was on the 18th, July 18th, and I said I have to get the scientists on my show first. Now the scientists, I use the word scientists. They do have, Beresha has a group of researchers that have formulated these products and made them the unique products that they really are. But they are also something else. They are representatives of the company. And the reason why, and I revealed to Angelo, Dr. Angelo Mitsos on Friday, that I wanted to have him here as my first guest was that I needed to make sure that the scientists could speak about the claims that were being made about the product. Because if they could speak about those claims, it meant that they are going to be held responsible for what they said. And in the realm of big companies, that's a big deal. And the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, is always looking for claims being made and products living up to the claims, so that if you're going to represent a multi-million-dollar company, you better watch what you say in a public forum, because you will be held to a standard of backing those claims up. Well, when we had the scientists on board, these were the questions I asked them, and now that I have the answers, I can actually continue to support even all the more vigorously than I ever did before the Beresha line. Those scientists concluded and were able to speak of on the air the fact that all three of these products, all four of them really, are thermogenic, meaning they burn fat just by having consumed them. That's a pretty unique quality. Has to do with a green coffee bean extract that they placed in all four of these products, that after you drink them and sit down, you will be burning fat. It'll vary according to a whole bunch of hormonal things going on in you, your own weight, your sex, your height, your weight, and all that. But the fact that the burning of fat is actually able to happen. And we talked to the president. He lost 22 pounds with this kind of a drink, this coffee that he put together. Says that you can benefit too. So that was the first thing. Second thing was that all four of these are satiety quenching. So if you drink or take these products 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after a meal, you will be satisfied that you will not need to eat as much during the meal or have a fullness issue after the meal that you wouldn't have if you didn't take the product. I think that's another a positive component of the Beresha products. The next component that the scientists spoke of was that these were definitely low glycemic indexed. And glycemic index is an important component that you're familiar with. I'm sure you've heard of it. Rating sugar with a glycemic index of 100 and water with a glycemic index of 0, all foods have some glycemic number attached to them. The lower the glycemic index, the greater the possibility this is to assure you that you will not gain weight and you more likely continue to lose it, and that your carbohydrate mechanism is within tow and in check. So all of the Berussia products, all four of them, have a very low glycemic index. The next component that the scientists were willing to speak of was that the cephalic response to sweetened to a sweetened product is also blunted. Now, this turns out to be a very important concept that very few companies, I've never heard it spoken of before. I had to actually learn this concept from the Berussia folks, but it goes something like this. Anytime you taste something sweet, whether you actually consume that something or not, just by the mere fact that you're tasting something sweet sets into play a whole host of hormonal responses that literally are the equivalent of eating a plate of spaghetti. I may have stepped over the line just a bit, but still, the hormonal gushes begin the moment something sweet is tasted within the mouth. And I used the example the other day, it's accurate, that if you had a diet drink, and I know there's the chemicals in diet drink or something that we don't really espouse, but nonetheless, they're very sweet drinks. The people that drink them think, well, it has 0 carbohydrates, has 0 calories, this is a diet drink. In fact, it is a putting weight on drink to the extent that the moment that you taste it, let's say you took a mouthful of a Diet Coke or something like that, and but you didn't really drink it. You spit it out and never really swallowed it. It doesn't matter whether you swallowed it or not. The cephalic kicks in, and the hormonal gush of insulin and all the other hormonal responses that would have occurred had you drank it, really it's a moot point. The fact that you had the sweet taste in the mouth is all you needed. And to blunt that cephalic phase, all four of these products made by Berussia does that. They are not just sweet. They have a tartness to them that allows for the blunting of the cephalic response. That is a new concept. That was really tickled me to see that there was such a thing, and it just makes sense, doesn't it? Besides all that, these products taste extremely well, and they are all natural within the components that comprise them. Like the coffee is organic. Working on getting the company to get all the teas organic also, but nonetheless, there you have it, the Berussia line, and they're all going to be here on Wednesday night for you to try. If you have a mind to, stop on in, give us a call if you know you're coming. 724-942-3002. That's 724-942-3002. And just so we can, what they say, leave the light on for you. And the new program that goes along with Berussia, this is 7 to 7, where the number 7 really takes on some significance. See, there are 7 products. The program lasts for 7 weeks, 7 days a week. You'll be eating 7 light meals a day, 7 glasses of water, 7, 7, 7. Not too difficult to remember that number. It is laying the groundwork for the entire experience that you can have also a roadmap by being at home on your own to help control those swings in blood sugars. The fact that as many patients as I have to evaluate with lab work in front of me, I'm seeing that this issue of hemoglobin A1Cs, meaning how your blood sugars run 24 hours a day over the past and the preceding 90 days, gets a bit scary to look at when you see that people, for the most part, and I'm saying well up into the 80%, are either already frankly diabetic, and they don't know it. Why don't they know it? Because their doctor just orders a fasting blood sugar, which is still being held in check. So the blood test, the test to determine whether or not you have carbohydrate issues, is not the fasting blood sugar. I've got to get over that. And I know my colleagues are well aware of what a hemoglobin A1C is. That's the test that needs to be ordered. The fasting blood sugar reveals what your blood sugar may be at a moment in time, and it does not indicate that you have a margin of safety with the carbohydrate issue just by the fact that you may have a normal fasting blood sugar. And I think everybody would agree blood sugars under 100 have conventionally been considered to be normal, when in fact, when we look at somebody who has that kind of a blood sugar, by the way, I've seen people with a normal or with a fasting blood sugar in the 80s. And then we get to hemoglobin A1C, which is a measure of your blood sugar 24 hours a day for the last 90 days. Then we really get to see the pathology emerging, because they're all over the board. And as I was saying a moment ago, more than 80% of the people I'm evaluating either A, are already over the line, and frankly are diabetic from the hemoglobin A1C perspective, even though their fasting blood sugar may look all right to their doctors, things are not okay, or they are close to the line and will soon cross over that line in the near future. This is a scary set of numbers. This is revealing a problem of our generation with respect to metabolism, that the insulin response to carbohydrate overconsumption is, well, completely out of control, and the phenomenon of diabetes is well in play. That's our generation. Lord knows what's up in store for the children of our generation and their children, because this is going nothing but downhill with processed foods in the near future. Anyway, way to get a hold of that, the Beresha line is very helpful in it. As I mentioned to you earlier, the new program we're beginning called the TLS program is going to be a way that even in a more formal way you can get a hold of these particular issues and take charge, because it's clear to me that things are completely out of control when it comes to these blood sugar matters. And many of you are deluded into thinking all is well because of that fasting blood sugar that your doctor may be checking on you. It is not a final checkoff. Ask for. I think you won't have any difficulty convincing your doctor to do it. But ask for the hemoglobin A1C. That's the one that, if you're well within a normal range, you can rest easy, because there is going to be no problem for you. On the other hand, man, if you're on that line, you need to jump and get a hold of it right now. And the things that we're talking about now with the Beresha products and the TLS programs are ways to do just that. All right, take a short break. When we come back, we have completely switched gears now. I guess we're not having success with locating Dr. Tennant. Meanwhile, I will find him. We will bring him on to you. Don't you worry about that. So we've opened it up today. If you got a mind to check in with us, plenty of shows. Top Doc Summer is underway. You may have questions about Top Docs. You may have comments about the Top Docs. Be right back in a moment.
Dr. Sherman and her staff.
Yeah, any extension I try, just get a recording.
Yeah, that would be the office. That's what I'd expect. If I didn't check on Friday and everybody oh, yeah, we all know about you. But
I hope they don't think it's, 8.
No, I say it's 7:05 your time, 8:05 mine.
Yeah.
So everybody in the office remembered. Dr. Tennant didn't remember.
Apparently. And at this point, it'd be better to have him on another show where he had a full program. So.
That's right. But if he happens to remember, of course, we'll bring him on, do a show and a half, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
But I'm not expecting it to happen.
No.
Just another time. I got to get the home phone numbers of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would have rescued it.
Yeah, because, with it being a different time zone especially, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Based on a blending of traditional and alternative medicine.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here on KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today in the Monday morning version of the show. We've switched some gears. Our guest today, it's really hard to, I talked to the office on Friday down there in Dallas, Texas, near Dallas, Texas somewhere, and they assured me that, oh yeah, we know about the show. Everybody in the office knows about the show. So I didn't speak to Dr. Tennant himself. I presume that they passed on the message to the good doctor. For some reason, we just not connecting this morning. I promised to bring him back. That gentleman is brilliant, and I want you to hear his message on healing his voltage. And so I promised to do that. We'll switch gears and open it up to you today. You can come on in at any moment and set the agenda as you see it. Of course, you know how to do that by dialing us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I'll listen for a knock on the door, and I will let you in the store. So much has made this summer a hot summer in terms of things going on in my office. Yes, the Beresha line is a newfangled thing, and I enjoy talking about it. The TLS really is going to be the fall program, so it's just starting to heat up, and we'll be talking about that. One of the main components of this office practice of mine has just turned it overnight to the use of ozone therapy. And I know many of you out there have been following the saga of the ozone approach to the treatment of disorders since we brought Dr. Frank Schallenberger to you a number of months ago. That was in January, right at the beginning, right at the turn of the new year. We had Frank on the show, and he came on our show 3 different times. First week in January, first week in February, and then skipped March, but was back here in April. And those 3 shows now are platinum shows, and I just encourage any of you who either heard the shows the first time, or if you have not, and maybe you're a little confused about the role that ozone can play in your own particular health issues, I'm recommending that you go to my website at djcmd.com on the opening page. Click on the icon marked Archives. What you then have happen to you is that you're taken onto YouTube, and at YouTube in the search engine, I want you to type in 3 words. First, Courtney/Schallenberger, Schallenberger, it's very phonetic, /ozone. Courtney/Schallenberger/ozone. And what will come up are 3 shows from the vault. They are called Ozone 1, Ozone 2, and Ozone 3. Those are the 3 famous shows we did with Dr. Frank Schallenberger. They were Pittsburgh's introduction to this unique therapy that we now can dispense with legally because we are a part of the Dr. Schallenberger IRB, and that's an institutional review board, and it is it's the federal research program that is conducted by the FDA. It's the FDA that allows us to use this particular substance using the rules that they set up with Dr. Schallenberger, who is recognized as the godfather of ozone therapy, but he has taught more people how to administer ozone. There's been 160 of us who are involved with the IRB across the country, and little me is in here in Pennsylvania, but there are plenty of states with more than 1 doctor, as we have here in this case. But if you figure 160 doctors countrywide, that's not too many, but all of our results will be sent to Dr. Schallenberger, who then, because the FDA is going to require them, will ultimately be sent to the FDA to finally analyze how well ozone works with 3 different criteria. The criteria are efficacy, safety, and cost effectiveness. And I believe in all 3 categories, there'll be a home run hit out of the ballpark. Efficacy-wise, this treatment just head over heels, so far superior to anything else that precedes it, and it's only oxygen, can't hurt you, which falls right into the second one, was safety. there's nobody getting harmed through ozone. And finally, cost effectiveness, when all the money that is spent to try to correct problems that have make no change are stacked up against having effective change occur in a rapid way. The cost effectiveness battle will be won. Anyway, more on that matter. We do have a knock on the door. Come on in the store. Hello and welcome aboard. What's on your mind? Go right ahead.
Hi, Dr. Courtney.
Hi.
Heard you mention hemoglobin A1C.
Oh, yes.
And I just got a blood test. Mine's 5.3 or something like that.
That is a very good hemoglobin A1C. Should make you feel good.
Well, but some of my other insulin resistance things are seem to be high on their charts. But with the A1C, does that
that's the one that
some of the others?
Yeah, I think that the best way to put it, and if you're out there listening, ladies and gentlemen, you have blood work. By the way, did your doctor order that just off the cuff on their own, or did you have to ask for it?
No, it was ordered.
I'm glad to hear that. You got a fine doctor there, because I tell you what, there aren't many who are ordering the A1C, and I'm glad to hear that your doctor is. But then, of course, because there are so many factors with insulin resistance and your insulin level, and whether that gets hooked up with hypertension, and whether you have something called a metabolic syndrome, you can get really down in the weeds with this. And to keep it simple, and as I view the labs, I do keep it simple. The hemoglobin A1C allows me to know exactly where we stand with all those other factors. So don't get confused or overly concerned with so many of the other parameters, because that all come to meet in your ability to lower your blood sugar with the least amount of insulin put in, and that A1C will be the one lab work that you can simply continue to follow from now well into the future. Your 5.3% squarely puts you in a normal range. For those of you who are listening out there, I think by the time you get, and I know it doesn't sound like much more, but once you get to 5.8 or 5.9%, you're in a critical area. And 5.3, you're in a very good area, as you should well know by now. So, no, keep up the good work. You're in great shape. Is it because you actually watch your carbohydrate intake, or is it just that this was a spot check done and you do what you do and never really pay attention to what you eat, but it turns out that it works well for you because of your own makeup? How did that happen?
Carbohydrates, but every once in a while, chocolate fairy gets to...
Well, your once in a while isn't causing you any harm, so you're allowed these minimal indiscretions. You're a human being. You're supposed to enjoy your time here on the planet, and if chocolate makes you happy, it looks like you don't suffer any ill consequences from it. So go right ahead as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that made my day, and thanks for the good show.
Hey, thank you so much for your call. It just is right on. Your doctor ordered it. I think it's the best news. You got a good guy there. Stick with him. He's one of a kind.
Great.
Absolutely. Yeah, folks. If you're finding the hemoglobin A1C is being ordered, you got somebody out of the mold there, and that's difficult to find because insurance companies don't. They will call up and ask, why are you getting hemoglobin A1Cs on people who aren't diabetics? I know it happens, and the fact that a doctor would say, I want to know what the hemoglobin A1C is of all my patients, not just my diabetics, makes just a special doctor I'm happy to hear. And you can easily convert your doctor over to just say, hey, look, I've been hearing how that fasting blood sugar doesn't tell the full story. I would really appreciate, doctor, if you'll order the hemoglobin A1C for me, and I'm pretty sure he or she will without much. It's not like some of those other tests that I talk about. Hemoglobin A1C is well within the scope of what they do. I just don't think to do it. But they're looking at that fasting blood sugar, and they're making calls about your status that can be very inaccurate and can be made accurate by just getting that additional blood test. There you have it. All right, let's take another short break here. In the interim, you may want to dial us up too, like the gentleman just had, 412-825-6262. We're going to be coming around that home stretch when we return. More on the Ozone Express, taking a walk on the cloud, an ozone cloud. All started in April around here, and man, it's catchy. It's caught on. it may be something for you too. Be right back to talk more about ozone therapy. Good morning and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to AIM Impact on Your Health. Here we are on a Monday morning version of the show. We've opened it up to you today, allowing you to come on in and set the agenda as you might see it. Question or comment is okay with me. We're in the middle of Top Doc summer mode. We're but many of those Top Docs to you. We'll bring many more. Our guest today, Jerry Tennant, somehow we lost sight of him. I'll check with him later on today. We will get him back. Week today from today sounds like a good try. I will try to do it and let you know with plenty of time to spare when his will be scheduled next. We've opened them up by allowing you to dial us up at 412-825-6262. We do have a knock on the door. Come on, the store. Hello, welcome aboard. What's on your mind?
Hi, Dr. Courtney.
Oh, yeah.
Hi. I was listening to another program, and I just happened to hear that Dr. Camino's retired.
I think the word should be semi-retirement. Okay, not fully retired. Dr. Caminos is now traveling quite a bit. You know, he is a red-blooded Argentinian that still has a business down there in Argentina. He now visits it frequently, but he's still seeing patients as he comes back through Pittsburgh. And so, fully retired, no. Backed off on his schedule, yes, but still seeing patients of ours, and is able to be available to me with a phone call no matter where he is.
Okay.
Okay.
And do you still go to that location though for to work in his office?
Oh yeah, I'm out there. In fact, I go there today. Every week I'm there on a Monday. We have for those who live in the Monroe area, we still have our ECP devices out there. We've got 3 in his office, and we've got a generous and healthy number of patients who are participating with ECP out there. And we see Dr. Caminos every so often. And his staff is fully engaged with being able to do testing for us so we can have our patients evaluated and be able to participate in our ECP program. So everything's going, but the only thing that you said that I believe is completely accurate, he is cut back on his schedule. He's not seeing nearly the number of patients that he had in the past, but he has not retired.
Okay.
Okay?
And then the other quick question I had was the other man just called about the glucose.
Hemoglobin A1C.
Yeah. There's what's that other one where it actually tests the insulin output?
No, there is a blood test that is insulin level, and you can have it measured, and when that insulin level is elevated, along with a condition of someone having high blood pressure, you're on your way to having a diagnosis called metabolic syndrome. And I just find it that if all of the mechanisms of the body are taken into account, the hemoglobin A1C really is the best way to know how your hormonal response is being distributed over all of your tissues with all hormones considered. So we can look, and I do look, to find out if somebody's hypertensive and their insulin levels are high. We will monitor them much closer because they're pointing the potential problem. But the one lab that makes sense for everybody is hemoglobin A1C, and I know you get them drawn on yourself.
Yeah, and what is that test though for the insulin?
Oh, it's just an insulin, the insulin level. It is measurable.
Okay. Because I recently had an insulin antibody test from someone, external insulin. Huh?
Yeah.
And it showed that I had a slight sensitivity to insulin, or to the insulin, I guess, the form that I'm taking.
Sure.
Antibodies weren't high, but they were there.
Yeah, that's being done because you are using exogenous insulin, and this comes from animals for the most part. And so if you're reacting to that form of insulin, then you really should be switching to another form. It doesn't appear like you are, but that's a test that is frequently used in a type 1 diabetic only. And I know you were there, so am I. So that's an important test for you, but it isn't done on the general population.
Okay, and then the insulin level is separate, then it's a different.
That's right, different test completely. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. More questions on the hemoglobin A1C? It is a big item, folks. If you are a type 2 diabetic, you absolutely want to monitor that hemoglobin A1C a lot closer than anybody else. Those of you who don't know, get the hemoglobin A1C. It's done on every single patient that we evaluate here. And we include Dr. Caminos in our little response to the caller. His lab still runs the finest labs for me anywhere in western Pennsylvania, and a stalwart lab since we started doing these labs has been the hemoglobin A1C. So if it turns out to be a battle with your own doc, go on out here. We'll be able to get that lab work done, and it with a number of other lab tests will be quite helpful in finding out where you stand with a whole bunch of things. Your blood sugar just being one of them. Hey, we'll open it up to you today. We've got about 12 minutes left or so. If you got a mind to come on into the store, give us a call at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. Now, I was talking about the ozone. I would encourage all of you to head to YouTube, head to my website, listen to the Frank Schallenberger shows, and it will get you very comfortable with what the intention of ozone is. But it's so unique that I keep on responding to patients' inquiries by saying, "Oh, well, we would use ozone for that," and then would say again, "Well, no, we would use ozone for that," and then we'd use it for this, and pretty soon the question comes up, well, you seem to be using ozone for like everything. Is there anything that you shouldn't use ozone for? And when you think about it, and by the way, this question has been asked to Dr. Frank Schallenberger in my presence on many occasions, the answer to the question is, well, no. It is not. There isn't one single disorder that you would not use ozone for, and that is for a reason. And that reason is that ozone therapy has the ability to meet the common link found in all disease. And that's something that really I've never heard mentioned before. Dr. Schallenberger put it in a concise way. That common link, and I'll get to this phone caller in a moment, that common link is the inability of mitochondria to optimally metabolize food to produce ATP. And there it is. When cells make it to a ratio of 1 mole of fat for every 36 moles of ATP, if that's the ratio, it doesn't get any better than that. That's a cell firing on all 8 cylinders, if you will. but unhealthy cells, where there's disease, are nowhere near that 1 to 36 ratio, and that's where ozone does its beauty. It does get that ratio back and established at a normal level again. Hey, we got another caller. Come on in the store. Hello, welcome aboard. What's on your mind? Go right ahead.
Good morning, Dr. Courtney.
Hi.
I get my astaxanthin from your office, and I wanted to know, do you have a specific vitamin for the eye that I could take?
Yeah. When it comes to the eye vitamins, and you can easily go to our website at PittsburghEyeProtocol.com. All of the Dr. Ed Condrat, who's the ophthalmologist and directs our eye programs, has developed an entire line of supplements based on the particular problem a patient has. So he has put together a formulation. If you have by the way, do you have either macular degeneration or glaucoma?
No, I don't have any specific eye problem. I
Okay.
get a good vitamin for the eye.
Well, his supplements, bar none, are the most excellent ones when it comes to eye issues. And so, without hesitation, I would say check the line out. Go to my website at PittsburghEyeProtocol.com. Click on the product icon, and although you'll find many of my products there, all of the Dr. Ed Condrat line are there, and his multis come in packages, which there's 60 packets in a vial, in a container. And you take one packet in the morning, one packet in the evening, and all of the vitamins and minerals that you need for eye issues will be contained there. And without much fuss or muss, I think that's the easiest way to do it.
Okay, I just wonder when I call in to Kim.
Excuse me. Yeah.
A vitamin name.
She will help and assist you. If she's having difficulty, she will pass you on to Sarah. So one of the other is going to get you channeled into the vitamins that you need and require for eye issues, and it won't take but 5 minutes to do it. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Yeah, Dr. Ed Condrat's line of his own formulations with all eye diseases in mind, I think is the best way to handle that issue. Astaxanthin, by the way, along with zeaxanthin, which does and is found in high quantities in the retina, are the two contributions made by Hematococcus pluvialis, the name of the algae where the astaxanthin product is obtained from. Hematococcus pluvialis is a unique algae, an algae that if you ever stumble across it in the wild, you would never forget the fact that you've stumbled onto it, because as you looked at the body of water, whether that's a pond or a lake, it will be blood red in color, and you'll say, oh my God, what's going on here? Well, what's going on there, you don't panic, is nothing in the water that's caused, nothing's dead and bleeding. That's the algae. That's Hematococcus pluvialis, which is where astaxanthin is from and cultivated from. An excellent product it is. Got another knock on the door. Come on in the store. Hello, welcome aboard. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Dr. Courtney.
Hello.
Love your topics that you're talking about, the ozone, and since you mentioned the astaxanthin, you might point out that it is a carotenoid, and it's very closely related. I looked up the structures on all the carotenoids, and they're amazingly close, but the lutein that is used for eyes, generally they recommend something like 20 milligrams, but it's interesting that the astaxanthin is not used in that high of amount. And it may be that, like you pointed out before, that it's a more powerful antioxidant.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, is like with a lot of these substances, they really haven't found necessarily the ideal amount for a specific condition. Do you have a comment on that?
Well, we've utilized the astaxanthin approach simply because there's no finer an antioxidant available, and antioxidation apparently is an important biological goal to have. With free radical formations as high as they are, my go-to used to be, as you well know, vitamin C. And in terms of its antioxidant capabilities, it's been left in the dust by astaxanthin. That conversion rate of we sell a astaxanthin capsule here. It has 12 milligrams of astaxanthin, and I know the equivalency is that one capsule of the astaxanthin has the antioxidant equivalency of 72,000 milligrams of vitamin C. That's just such a phenomenal number. It's never left my mind. So I say, I'm not getting down the weeds with this thing. The astaxanthin appears to be the best antioxidant I know of, and that's why I
will tell you that by the structure, it may be that much more powerful than vitamin C, but I think you would agree that you would never give up your vitamin C because vitamin C does a plethora of other functions.
Yeah, it does, and this antioxidant function can be beat up by the other kid on the block, but there is an antiviral and especially an anti-cancer component that the astaxanthin doesn't bring with it. And that is really unique for vitamin C. I mean, one needs to go no further than Linus Pauling won the Nobel for using vitamin C, proving it can cure the common cold, a virus, we should add. So, yeah, the benefits of vitamin C are never downplayed. It's just as an antioxidant, it loses, and it loses considerably, but it has benefits that no other product really does have. And so people that come to see me end up taking a bit of both.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One other question. In your ozone therapy, are you using any kind of, like, body suits? I saw on the YouTube that they were using various kinds of plastic bags and other devices to do, I guess, transdermal O3.
Oh, hey, the bagging, which can be usually done easily by diabetic with the lower extremities. Yeah. They can do that on their own quite nicely. But there are ways that people are trying to zip themselves into the environment of the ozone. The only problem is I would not be in favor of zipping in where the head was involved.
Okay.
In other words, you want to make sure that the head sticks out and it's the neck down. And if you're fully unclothed and you're like one of those saunas,
yeah,
or you're able to have a suit that has a pretty good elasticity around the neck so you don't have much gases escape. Because the one thing that you want to protect against with ozone is that you never want to have it administered through inhalation. And breathing ozone in is not good because it's an irritant to the respiratory system. It sort of cancels itself out. If you ever get a good whiff of ozone, it'll be the last whiff you remember for a while because you'll get into a coughing jag that's so great. You won't be taking a second whiff, okay? But to prevent even the first whiff, you shouldn't be inhaling the gas.
What are they recommending for exposure? I know there's probably a lot of parameters about how much O3 is being generated, but if you're doing the legs or you're doing the body, how much
40 gamma. The measurement of value of ozone is measured in what's called gamma, and we won't necessarily have to get down in the weeds and how that's computed, but let's just say a dose of 40 gamma is used with all external exposure to ozone. And then the generators that we have, literally we know if we dial in the oxygen flow rate, and that can go as low as 1/32 of a liter per minute, all the way up to 20 liters per minute. If we dial in a certain flow rate and then hit a certain level, 0 to 10, on the dial on the generator, we can be accurate in making that particular gamma. And the numbers elude me right now is what it takes to get 40 gamma, but in some places we're using 20 gamma, some 40, some 60. But the bagging, which is what we are just talking about, you and I, that's done with 40 gamma as the dose.
Now, if you were treating the lower extremities, how many treatments do you think you would need to reverse or improve the situation?
Well, I think that my answer to that would be easy one, because diabetics pose the greatest risk to wound and infections that they get in the lower extremities. And when we have a patient that's doing that, we have had a patient within the first 2 IV treatments get that completely reversed, and then bought the unit. He's able to do this bagging at home, okay?
Okay.
As well as rectal insufflation. So as a diabetic, I would really encourage any diabetic to consider having a unit, in-home unit. And by the way, I promised most people that the Freedom of Choice in Cancer group, number one, I am bringing Frank Schallenberger to town, okay? That's for sure.
Oh, great.
When he comes, I'm going to ask him to do a special program for lay people on the use of in-home ozone, and you'll want to be a participant in that, because Frank has never had such an occasion to teach lay people that which he said he's always wanted to do, and he's going to get the first opportunity to do it here in Pittsburgh. So I'll give you more of that. Yeah. Have the Godfather himself train you in the use.
Well, thank you. Keep up the good work.
Okay. All right, folks. We're right at that gong. We're going to have bongos going on in the background. Thanks for rescuing the show. We had to do one thing. We switched gears. We did another. Happens a lot. I'll get a hold of Dr. Jerry Tennant. I'll find out what our problem was today. I'll get him back. Till then, don't look forward to seeing us, by the way, on Wednesday with Susie Weiss. Barisha Tasting Wednesday evening, 6 o'clock, in the Essential Oils Conference in my office. Thursday morning, 10 o'clock, a freebie. Bye now.